Hi, welcome back to the Leadership Help Desk, where we're studying small business marketing concepts. If you're interested in marketing concepts for a small business or a medium-sized business, check out my playlist entitled Marketing on the Leadership Help Desk YouTube channel, and you will see all the marketing concepts that we've covered so far. Our concept for today is Ansoff's product market expansion model. We look at how we can expand. Now this comes second after you've come up with your first product or your first service. And the question is, how can we expand this? And this is going to be based on the market or the product or slash service. So we can have, here we have our first block here is market penetration. And how can we expand our sales of the current existing product with the current existing market? Now, the best way to look at this market penetration is to look at our product adoption process. And there's a whole video for that, but it looks at what degree our target market is aware of our product, they're interested in our product, how they have evaluated our product. Is it beneficial to them? Is it worth the price? Have they tried our product? Have they adopted our product? And are they an advocate of our product? So we need to look at this because maybe some, we sell 1,000 or something. And we found out that maybe people aren't aware that we exist. So that would be a problem. We would need to give information, communicate somehow, promote, advertise, and hopefully once they're aware, we find out that they're interested in the product. If they're not, we have to address that. And if they're not evaluating the product, against the competitors, substitute products, whatnot, we want them to evaluate it, hopefully in an honest way, so they've thought about it and maybe they will try it. One way to get people to try something is to give out samples, and you jump across all of this and get to the trial, and hopefully they adopt. So we have to explore all of those things with market penetration. Our next option is to use the existing product, and instead of looking at the existing market, we look at new markets, and this is called market development. We need to develop new markets for our product. Now we're supposed to keep the product the same, right? So maybe we can increase sales by looking at new geographical regions. We also might look at new target markets. If you're not familiar with what a target market is, see the playlist and you'll find the video. But it's a different segment of the population. And so look at this. We're looking at existing product and a new market. Now there's some fascinating examples of baking soda and WD-40. Baking soda, what is that? I guess it's soda that you bake with. I've seen it in a few recipes. You use baking soda, and I guess bread or something. But they're going, wow, if you look at recipes, it'll show up sometimes, but it's a small amount, right? So they have to find a new market for baking soda. So what did they do? What do you use baking soda for? Arm & Hammer baking soda. What do you use it for? Well, you use a little bit in cooking, but then they tell you to put it in your refrigerator because it deodorizes. So your drink doesn't turn out tasting like broccoli or something, right? It deodorizes. I think they might use it in swimming pools. You even brush your teeth with it, right? So we're getting new markets. If you're not a baker, okay, we can hit the person who has a smelly refrigerator. Okay, now we're gonna actually, growing up when we were out of toothpaste, Mom always said, here's the baking soda, brush your teeth with it. What other uses for baking soda are there? Well, actually, thanks to my son, I have a bottle of water with a little bit of baking soda in it, and that's what I use to clean this whiteboard. So they found different uses, different markets. I'm probably not going to bake bread. I have toothpaste. Oh, I've got a whiteboard. I need to clean it. And the best way to do it, or one best way to do it, is with baking soda. Then we have WD-40. What is WD-40 for? Well, it's for, rusty parts. Maybe a screw that's locked because it's rusty. We'll spray some WD-40 lube on it, and hopefully it'll loosen up and we can unscrew that screw. Or, maybe something stuck that's supposed to move. We'll put WD-40 on it. But if you look on the internet, I don't know if these are true or not, but there's a whole list of things that you can use WD-40 for. Here, where I am in the tropics, when I say this in class, they automatically think of WD-40 and growing up, their aunts and uncles and grandparents, the students, they would put it on their elbow if their elbow hurt. And they swear it works. I'm not going to spray WD-40 on my knees, but they say that works. So a new market for the existing product. What are the other uses for the product? Now our next option is existing market and a new product. So we do product development. Now, what are our options there? We're going to try to maintain our existing market with a new product, and we could improve that product somehow. We could have different versions. We might tweak it a little bit, kind of for a new target market, or maybe just for maybe a subset of the market segment that we're hitting. We could do a low-cost version. We could change the size. You see that at Costco and whatnot. Generally for the same purpose, but same people, but a different size. And we could improve packaging maybe to make it more appealing to the same people. Now, our fourth option is diversification, where we have a new product and a new market. So if you were to be making, in the case locally, we have a famous person who makes hot sauce, and they now make fruit jams and things like that. So I should point out here too that we can have related diversification and we can have unrelated diversification. So in her case, she makes hot sauce and she makes fruit jam jelly, and that would be related because it's in the food category, some of the same processes, some of the same bottling kinds of things. And we could also have unrelated. So we have a new product for a new market. Now, there is a concept from Peter Lynch. For you investors out there, you need to go look up Peter Lynch. And he has a term called diversification. Now, in his case, he's talking about diversifying your stock portfolio so you're not susceptible to the same little problems in the stock market. And that would mean, a simple example would be, you might invest in AT&T, which is telecommunications, and then you might invest in Pfizer, which is drugs. So if something happens to drugs, then your telephone company's still good, and something goes down with the Verizon takes over AT&T, and that stock is now vulnerable. You still have your drug. But he came up with the concept of diversification, because diversification, just for the sake of diversifying, can end up putting you in a worse position. So, if you're famous, well, look at Exxon, right? Exxon. What do you think of when you think of Exxon? Oil and gas, right? So let's say that Exxon wanted to, the board says, hey, gas, oil is in the crapper, and gasoline is, and oil, we're pumping out oil, we're not getting paid for it. We need to diversify. So Exxon, they could go into, say, carbonated sodas. So really, so now when that protects them when the oil market goes down. It's probably not going to affect the soda market, but when you think about it, Exxon Cola ain't too appealing, is it? And even if they change the name to whatever soda, and you find out that Exxon is doing it, that's not, they don't know anything about soda. Speaking of soda, Pepsi bought KFC, and Pepsi went in to manage KFC, and the whole thing was a complete wreck. They're great at sodas, but they don't know anything about running restaurants and the whole franchise scheme that the Colonel had. But they have done well with chips and snacks. So diversification. If you've watched the movie City Slickers, the whole theme of one of those movies is the one thing. You have to find the one thing and get good at it. And once you start playing around with 6 or 7 different things, you get bad at everything. So you have to be careful with diversification. So what does that mean for you as a small business? To summarize, have you fully penetrated the market? Maybe there's still room to grow there. Maybe we need to come up with a new product. Maybe we need to find a new market. Maybe we need to just try something else and help protect ourselves from a downplay in what we're doing. So there you go. Ansoff's product market expansion model for your future as a small business, and marketing, and coming up with new ways to grow your income, grow your sales, grow your presence. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, here again, the marketing concepts are in the playlist under marketing. We got a ton of them over there. And if you like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have more business topics coming your way. Enjoy your day.